Lord, we thank you for this day. And thank you for this rain that you're giving us. And we just pray that you will continue to bless us and watch over and lead, guide, and direct our lives and show us the direction that you would have us go. We ask you to forgive us of our sins, forgive us where we failed you, and help us to always stay focused on you. In Christ's name we ask.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to finish business tonight. Item 1, we transfer locations of license for retail beer off premises only and retail table wine off premises only. Issued May 16, 2011 to, what is it?
Dollar General.
Dollar General Corporation. From 5306 US Highway 231 to the new location at 4906 US Highway 231.
And this is not the new store on Crystal Parkway. This is the old store from where they were by when Dixon came to the next shopping center.
So,
And I think the store manager's gonna be here at 7.
okay. That'll be the first item we'll take up. And then tonight we'll have a change order for the West Side project on Canopy Street. Larry, you want to brief us on
Oh,
where we're at here?
did y'all have a copy of these? I brought some, if anybody wants a copy of what we're talking about.
Whatever, that's what
Yeah,
I,
just want to make sure everybody has.
yeah, I put that in the back.
What this is on Government Street, before we start any paving on that project, we get the subgrade prepared, then we take a loaded dump truck, fill it up with just a heavy clay or dirt or something, just as heavy a load as we can get on the dump truck, and run it up and down the subgrade before we ever put any paving down. Well, when we did that between Alabama Street and Government on the canopy, that area failed. In other words, it started, we could see the tracks on the truck just gave in 4 to 6 inches and things like that. So that tells us that we need to get like a testing firm involved, find out what's wrong and what we need to do. So we got in touch with the testing firm and had them come up and do 2 cores and see what the problem was, and it's a problem with moisture, is basically what it is. When you got a subgrade that's wet, I mean, if it were only 3 or 4 inches deep, we would scarify it, try to dry it out and set it back down, but this is 2 to 3 feet. We can't do that. I mean, we could, if we had an area where we could spread it out and wait a month and a half to dry, we could do that, but we don't have that kind of time. So the only solution, we asked them to give us some options on it, was that we undercut that area, and that's what this is. It's undercutting those areas. The areas were 140 by 12 feet wide, 34 by 8, and 214 by 8 feet. So when we total all that up, and then this is the first number there, you see the 407 cubic yards of undercut waste. That's where he's digging it out and loading it in a truck and hauling it off. And that's what he's asking, is the $6 a cubic yard for hauling that off. That's $24.42. And then he's basing his quantities on 3 foot of undercut and a roll of non-woven geotechnical fabric. That goes, once you dig it out, you put that on the ground before you put the crusher run back in. Then that gives you a separation between the dirt and the gravel and keeps the gravel from mashing down into the dirt, keeps it from settling. And this is the structural fill. It's the 407 cubic yards at 1055. And that could be a pressure run material, or it could be a soil aggregate material, as long as it's clean and got a lot of clay and gravel content in it, and it's not wet, it's dry. So he gave us those prices. The prices he gave us, except for the structural fill, were the same. He based those on the same numbers he had in the contract. So that's what he came up with the non-woven material. Then using the woven material down on option 2, he used a woven geogrid, which is a little more expensive. And that is the 6 inches of 57 stone. That's a commercial stone. 120 tons, and the $32 is the same he's got in the contract. The structural fill, again, is 358 yards, and that comes up to 11,000 versus the 7910. I'd recommend going with the 7910 unless we run into something that's different than what we got. We won't really know till we get it all opened up. He needs to undercut that 2 to 3 feet, and let the geotechnical people look at it and see if it's what they really think it is consistently. I mean, we've got 2 samples, but that's just in 2 small places. So once they get it opened up, then they'll know for sure what we got. But that's what the change order is about, and we're just asking for approval to go ahead with these. Probably option 1, unless something comes up different when we open everything up. That's what I'd recommend doing, is option 1. And the only thing I saw on here that I want to talk to the contractor about, I want to try to get him down on this hauling off waste at $6. I usually see that about $3 or $4. I mean, it won't be a lot of money, but might be $1,000, $1,200 off of that.
How bad is this dirt
It's bad.
as far as reusing at a later time?
Well, I mean, you might could use it like on the driveway or something like that, if you had somewhere where you want him to put it. I wouldn't recommend putting it under anything that's gonna be paved.
Where is he hauling it off?
I don't really know. I think he was planning on hauling some of that, over close to the river, over Mr. Law's property. He was hauling some over there unless it's full. They said he might have hauled all over there that he could haul. Yeah, if he don't go it there, if he doesn't carry it there, I don't know where he's at.
So wouldn't that help us with that project over there on the river, if we haul it over there?
It wouldn't hurt. Yeah, he could go into that area where they're gonna build the haul road.
Well, it's our dirt. Well, we're not gonna pay him to give us dirt free. We might need it to fill in over there.
That'd be
Let him
fine.
carry it.
Yeah, I
over
mean,
there and dump it.
that'd be fine. We
Get
got
the
it
money's
in
worth
there.
out of it. That'd be good.
We can do that.
Now, my next question to you about this is, why are we having to pay for this? This one of these, you said, unforeseen things for the contract. Are we, since we're gonna have to pay for this, or would this be on the contract?
No,
Yes,
this is
come out.
something we've got to pay for. This is below subgrade. Our contract goes to a certain elevation, and once you go below that elevation, that's extra work.
Larry, any idea why it's wet?
You know, I asked Randy, and Randy said it was not wet. It wasn't because of the rain, because I thought that might have been what it was, that he had left it open and it was wet. But Randy said they opened it up and it was covered up quick. There wasn't any rains in between. I don't know unless it's just, you know, just something that's been there over the ages. It's just been wet. Just hasn't failed. It probably hasn't had a heavy load on it or enough repetitions on it. But
Is this an outer edge, Randy, is this on an outer edge of the road?
oh, he's hiding back there.
No, this the main part of the street.
Okay, but it like we widened this street,
Yes, sir.
it's out from under where the original road was?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Some of it is,
okay.
small portion.
There's no more. We're on to the next item.
Okay, and you were recommending which one?
Number 1.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then on the new business, approve the amended 2011-2012 budget as a minimum budget for the year 2012-2013. That just be carried over the budget into next administration. Any questions on that?
I have a question. Okay. On the concessions, we have for both parks. why would you combine these? You need to know what each part is taking in